Every morning, millions of people open their eyes to an alarm clock, stumble through the motions of breakfast, commute, work, and return home, feeling as if they've run a race with no finish line. They check their phones, scroll through the highlights of other people's lives, and wonder why their own feels like a loop on repeat. Deep inside, a quiet voice whispers, there must be more than this. More than ticking boxes, paying bills, and pretending to be satisfied with a life that feels half-lived. That restless ache you feel when you lie awake at night isn't a flaw in your character. It's a signal from the part of you that still dreams. It's the part of you that remembers what it's like to be genuinely excited to wake up, to feel passion bursting through your veins, to be driven by something bigger than just making it to the weekend. But somewhere along the line, responsibility, routine, and the fear of being judged buried that fire. Now you find yourself at a crossroads. Keep walking the well-worn path of predictable days and quiet regret, or pause long enough to ask a question that can change everything. Why am I really here? In a world that tells you who you should be and how you should live, rediscovering this answer can feel like an act of rebellion. But it's the kind of rebellion that breathes life back into your spirit and colors your days with meaning. Imagine a life where your actions align with what truly matters to you, where you feel alive not just in rare moments, but every single day. It all begins with one daring choice: to search within, listen deeply, and reclaim the purpose that's been waiting for you all along. Most people drift through life with a vague sense that they should be doing something more, something that feels real and deeply satisfying, yet they never pause long enough to figure out what that actually is. They chase promotions, buy nicer cars, plan vacations, and tell themselves that happiness will arrive when the next milestone is reached. But once they get there, a strange emptiness often follows. The truth is, fulfillment isn't hidden in a job title, a paycheck, or the approval of others. It lies in something far more personal, an inner calling that gives every effort and sacrifice a deeper significance. Discovering this inner calling isn't about abandoning your responsibilities or escaping reality. It's about infusing your daily life with clarity and conviction. It means understanding exactly why you get out of bed each morning and what you stand for when the world tests your patience and resolve. It means acting from a place of inner truth rather than reacting to the demands and expectations that pull you in 100 directions. People often say they want to be happy, but happiness is fleeting if it's not anchored in meaning. True contentment comes when you live according to your values and passions, when your actions, relationships, and goals reflect what truly matters to you, not what others think should matter. When you tap into that core purpose, even mundane tasks feel lighter because they serve a bigger picture you believe in. This journey inward isn't reserved for dreamers or philosophers. It's necessary for anyone who wants to stop feeling stuck and start feeling alive. It's a journey that requires honesty, patience, and courage. You must face parts of yourself you've ignored, your fears, your long-buried desires, and the truths you've hidden under polite smiles and busy schedules. Yet, as challenging as this can be, the reward is life-changing, a life you genuinely love, one that energizes you instead of draining you, and a sense of peace that no external chaos can shake. Finding your guiding reason is not a luxury. It's a responsibility you owe to yourself and to everyone your life touches. When you live with purpose, you inspire others to do the same. You become a reminder that life is not just about surviving. It's about growing, contributing, and experiencing the deep joy that comes from aligning your daily existence with your deepest truths. This is the starting point for a fulfilling life, and it's never too late to begin. It's a curious thing how easily people can get caught in the swirl of daily life, yet feel so profoundly disconnected from it. Many wake up each morning with a knot in their stomach, knowing they are about to spend another day pouring energy into tasks that feel meaningless. They watch the clock tick through meetings, errands, and obligations, all while a quiet question hums beneath their surface thoughts. Is this all there is? Society teaches us early on to aim for certain milestones, a degree, a respectable job, a family, a house, a steady income. These things are often worthy and good, but without a deeper connection to a personal purpose, they can become golden cages. You can have a stable career and a full calendar, yet feel strangely empty at the end of the day. You can check off every box on someone else's definition of success, but still lie awake at night wondering why joy feels out of reach. This disconnect is more than just a passing mood. It can seep into every corner of life. It steals enthusiasm from our work, patience from our relationships, and hope from our dreams. It makes even moments of celebration feel muted, as if something vital is missing in the background. Some try to drown this discomfort in distractions, binge watching shows, scrolling endlessly, working longer hours, or shopping for things they don't truly want. These habits numb the unease for a while, but never erase it. At its core, this struggle is not about external circumstances, but about a lack of inner clarity. When people don't know why they do what they do, life becomes a series of tasks rather than a meaningful adventure. They become reactive instead of proactive, pulled in every direction by demands and expectations that have nothing to do with what they actually value. Over time, this misalignment erodes motivation. Passion fades, creativity dulls. Even the most driven person can burn out when their actions aren't connected to something they believe in deeply. The real tragedy is that many accept this disconnection as normal. They convince themselves that passion is for the lucky few or that fulfillment is just a buzzword for dreamers. They settle into routines that numb the longing inside them, telling themselves it's safer not to ask too many questions. But beneath the busyness, their true selves ache to be seen, heard, and expressed. The challenge then is not to invent a purpose, but to uncover the one that has always been there, buried beneath layers of expectation, fear, and distraction. Without this, even the greatest achievements will ring hollow. With it, even the smallest moments can feel significant. Finding a deeper purpose begins with a simple yet powerful act: pausing. In a world that idolizes constant motion and celebrates busyness, taking time to stop and look inward feels almost rebellious. But this stillness is where true answers begin to surface. When someone decides to truly listen to themselves, they often discover hints of what has always mattered most to them, buried under years of obligations and other people's opinions. It might be a forgotten childhood dream, a talent they once nurtured, or a cause that stirs their heart every time they think about it. This process is not about magically stumbling upon a perfect mission overnight. It requires asking questions that dig deeper than, what do I want? And instead explore what makes my life feel worth living, even on the hardest days. Journaling, reflective walks, or quiet moments before bed can become powerful tools for tuning in to these insights. Often, small clues appear during ordinary moments: the spark of excitement when talking about a topic, the sense of flow when working on a project, or the deep satisfaction that follows helping someone else in a meaningful way. As people uncover these clues, it becomes clear that living with purpose does not mean abandoning responsibilities or taking reckless leaps. It's about aligning what they already do with what they truly care about. A teacher who rediscovers her passion for nurturing curiosity can transform routine lessons into moments of wonder. An entrepreneur who reconnects with the desire to uplift their community can shape a business that impacts lives, not just bank accounts. Purpose turns mundane tasks into stepping stones towards something that feels worthwhile. And of course, this journey isn't always smooth. Old fears will surface: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of making changes that others may not understand. Doubt will whisper that this search is unrealistic or selfish. But pushing through these fears is part of the transformation. It builds resilience and clarity. Each small step taken in alignment with genuine purpose strengthens confidence and weakens the power of uncertainty. Surrounding oneself with supportive people can make a big difference. Conversations with those who listen without judgment often provide encouragement when self-doubt threatens to stall progress. Books, podcasts, or mentors who share stories of living with purpose can fuel motivation to keep exploring. Slowly but surely, life begins to feel less like a blur and more like an adventure crafted with intention. Choices become clearer. Time feels more valuable. The gap between what someone does and who they truly are starts to close, and that is where fulfillment takes root. There comes a moment, often unexpected, when everything shifts. It might happen during a quiet walk, in a conversation with a trusted friend, or in the stillness of a sleepless night. It's not always a loud revelation, but more like a steady, undeniable knowing that rises from deep within. Suddenly, the questions that once felt impossible to answer become clearer. Why am I here? What truly matters to me? What am I willing to stand for, no matter what? This moment marks the turning point between drifting and living with intention. It is the instant when excuses lose their grip and the desire to honor one's deepest truth becomes stronger than the fear of change. With this awakening comes a surge of courage. The patterns that once felt unchangeable start to look like choices rather than chains. A person realizes they don't have to say yes to everything or everyone. They learn the power of a well-placed no. A no to draining commitments, to toxic relationships, to pretending to be someone they're not. In this newfound clarity, they begin to say yes to what lights them up, even if it scares them. They recognize that discomfort is part of growth, and they become willing to endure it for the sake of something real. This key moment does not erase problems overnight, nor does it magically solve every challenge. Bills still need to be paid, conflicts still arise, and responsibilities remain. But now every struggle feels more meaningful because it serves a higher purpose. Obstacles become tests of commitment rather than reasons to quit. Mistakes become lessons rather than proof of inadequacy. Setbacks feel like detours rather than dead ends. There is a quiet power in knowing that no matter what happens externally, one's inner compass stays steady. This inner shift often radiates outward. Relationships deepen because they are no longer maintained out of habit, but nurtured with honesty and care. Work becomes more rewarding because it aligns with authentic values rather than hollow expectations. Even leisure feels richer, no longer a mere escape, but a way to refuel for what truly matters. In this defining moment, a person stops looking outside for validation and instead trusts their own convictions. They realize that life's worth is not measured by applause or approval, but by the quiet satisfaction of knowing they are true to themselves. This is when fulfillment becomes not a distant goal, but a daily experience woven into the fabric of ordinary life. It is the spark that transforms a wandering existence into a purposeful journey. And from this point on, there is no turning back. When the journey to discover one's deeper purpose concludes, it is not with fanfare or dramatic change overnight, but with a profound sense of alignment and peace. Living without understanding why we do what we do leaves us vulnerable to distraction, frustration, and exhaustion. But once purpose is uncovered, life gains a new dimension. Every action and decision feels infused with meaning, no matter how small or routine it may seem. This sense of meaning acts as an anchor during turbulent times, offering clarity when choices become difficult and strength when challenges arise. Purpose is not a destination, but an ongoing journey. It requires continual reflection, courage to adapt, and the willingness to face discomfort. However, the reward is immeasurable, a life lived intentionally, where goals reflect true values and success is measured not by external achievements, but by internal fulfillment. When you operate from this space, your energy is no longer scattered but focused. Your motivation is sustained not by fleeting rewards, but by enduring conviction. Moreover, living with purpose ripples beyond the individual. It influences relationships, work, and communities in positive, tangible ways. Authenticity fosters deeper connections because people respond to truth and passion. Work becomes more than a paycheck, it becomes an expression of identity and contribution. Communities benefit when individuals act from conviction rather than obligation, creating cycles of inspiration and support. The challenges of life don't vanish, but they become easier to face with a clear why. Setbacks and failures transform from threats to opportunities for growth and learning. Decisions gain clarity because they are guided by a personal compass rather than external pressures. This kind of fulfillment transcends temporary happiness and touches something more enduring, a sense of harmony between who you are and how you live. Ultimately, the search for purpose is an invitation to step fully into yourself, to honor your unique gifts, and to live with courage and clarity. It asks you to move beyond the noise of everyday distractions and tap into a wellspring of meaning that sustains you through every season of life. No matter where you are on your path, it's never too late to begin or continue this exploration. The effort to know your why and align with it is one of the most powerful commitments you can make to yourself and to the world around you. This discovery doesn't just change your life, it transforms how you experience it, creating a ripple effect that touches everyone and everything in your orbit. The journey to fulfillment begins within, and its impact echoes far beyond. Now that you've glimpsed the power of discovering your deeper purpose, the next step is clear. Don't let this insight remain just an idea. Take action. The most transformative journeys start with a single decision to commit to exploring who you truly are and what drives you. This means carving out time in your busy life to reflect, ask honest questions, and listen closely to the answers that arise. Start small. Grab a journal or open a note on your phone and write down what excites you, what drains you, and moments when you've felt most alive. Revisit these notes regularly. Over time, patterns will emerge, helping you identify the values and passions that have always been a part of you, but may have been overshadowed by routine and expectation. Don't rush this process or judge what you discover. Purpose reveals itself gradually, and patience is key. Next, begin to align your daily actions with what you find meaningful. This doesn't require sweeping changes overnight. Instead, look for small shifts, saying no to commitments that don't serve you, dedicating time to activities that energize you, or choosing to approach responsibilities with renewed intention. These seemingly minor adjustments build momentum and create a sense of progress that fuels further growth. Reach out for support when needed. Share your reflections with trusted friends, mentors, or communities who encourage authenticity and growth. Hearing other perspectives can spark new insights and help you stay accountable to your journey. Remember, you don't have to figure everything out alone. Most importantly, be willing to face discomfort. Growth often asks us to challenge old habits, confront fears, and make choices that may initially feel uncertain or risky. Embrace these moments as signs that you are moving forward rather than setbacks. The courage to keep going, even when the path isn't clear, is what transforms a good intention into a lasting transformation. By choosing to discover and live your why, you unlock a wellspring of energy, clarity, and fulfillment that impacts every area of your life. Your relationships become richer, your work more meaningful, and your everyday moments more vibrant. So today, take that first step. Commit to exploring your why with curiosity and openness. Let this journey be one of self-discovery, courage, and growth. The life you've longed for is within reach. Not as a distant dream, but as a reality waiting to unfold with every choice you make. Start now and watch how everything begins to change.